888-6-HELP-ME. Sunrise is fully licensed and has 25 years experience offering discreet, one-on-one medically assisted treatment. You can have your life back. 1-888-6-HELP-ME. 888-6-HELP-ME or sunrisehealthcareassociates.com.
What you want to know. What you need to know.
Talk 1470. WNN.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Identity theft has been the top consumer complaint filed with the FTC for over 15 years straight. Victims are spending an exorbitant amount of time and money dealing with it. Introducing Cover Your Assets with Nancy O and Harvey Katz. They will bring the latest news on how criminals are getting smarter, and they have the solution to keep them at bay. Nancy and Harvey are informative and will get you motivated to cover your assets. If you want to ask them a question, call into the show at 888-565-1470 and let them get you on the right track in protection. Now, here's Nancy O and Harvey Katz.
Good evening, folks. I'm Nancy O, and my co-host is Harvey Katz. I'm so glad you tuned in tonight to hear our show, Cover Your Assets. It's so important to know how to protect yourself, your name, your identity, and this is what our show is about. We're here to inform you on how to take better care of yourself in this society, in this world. It's a global problem. I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Harvey Katz.
Thanks, Nancy. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine, Harvey.
Great.
Thank you for, being here with me tonight. I'm so privileged to be on your show.
Well, that's why I asked you, because the show is, you were so concerned with people, and that's what the show is all about, helping people.
Harvey, would you tell us a little bit about your background? Share with us.
Sure. I was CEO of a public company, actually a few public companies. I've worked in the environmental field for a number of years. I guess you can call me a serial entrepreneur. And I retired, and I came out of retirement because I was approached by my sister about identity theft. And she got me involved with a company called Harvey Risk Management.
Well, Harvard Risk Management is our sponsor. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about Harvard Risk Management. The public out there, you know all about it. I just like to give you a little information about myself, why I'm here. I'm here for this mission of informing you. My background is in education, preschool to college. And the most important thing now I can do is to teach you folks out there, our friends, about this important issue and how to protect yourself.
Yeah, Nancy, why don't you tell them a little bit about Harvard Risk Management Corporation?
Yes, I will. Thank you. Harvard Risk Management Corporation is the largest broker of legal and identity theft plans in the U.S. We pride ourselves on providing high quality and affordable services to our customers. We've been around for over 2 decades, and we worked hard to find real solutions to real problems facing individuals and families. Personally, when I was approached for identity theft protection, Identity Shield, 10 years ago, I didn't pay attention. It didn't concern me. But now, the way the time is, it's a sign of the times that we have to have protection. And every day, there are over 40,000 victims of identity theft. Identity theft is now ranked the fastest growing crime in America. The average victim spends hundreds of hours in the process of restoring their identity, and it affects the victim at home, at work. It's a process that really deteriorates a person's lifestyle when their identity has been taken.
It really does, Nancy. People don't realize until it actually happens how bad it really is to their life and their lifestyle.
Oh, yes.
It's like being violated.
Oh, yeah, and it's such even children, 3.5 million children have already fallen victims of identity theft in the U.S. Children's identity is taken from them even before they're born. There's a way that these criminals figure out what their, Social Security might be. They have things coded, and they just know how to use those 9 numbers for their benefit.
That's all they do. They have systems today that can project these numbers, and they use these numbers, And how often do the folks out there, how often do you really check your child's your security number or their credit for that matter? Right. One of the tips that I'm going to give you, and tip number 1 for today, is if you check and find out that your child has a credit report and he's under 16 years old, I think he has been violated and his identity is stolen already. No child under the age of 14 to 16 should have a credit report. That was tip number 1 for today, Nancy.
Oh, thank you. That's a very important tip. You know, folks, it takes about 60 seconds to find out if you're a victim of identity theft. And it takes hundreds of hours to restore your identity, but there's a solution for you. You don't have to worry about you doing that personally yourself. We'll tell you more about how you can be protected with Identity Shield. But there are 6 major types of identity theft. And most of you probably think it's all about credit cards. It's credit cards and credit and driver's licenses, Social Security, medical, criminal, and minor. You know, there are criminals who are bundling identities to actually leave the country or to come into the country. Packages are being sold,
right.
And it's
really true.
And and it's such a concern now as we've been talking about it, and only 17% of theft deals with credit cards. And yet most solutions available in the market only provide protection and monitoring of your credit.
Well, one of the things about this, Nancy, is that most people today think that the biggest thing they're protected is because their bank will call them if a check comes through, or their credit card will say you might have a false charge. That's only the start of it. People say, oh, the bank will cover it or the credit card will. But that's only one very small tip of the iceberg. 2/3 of that iceberg is still underneath the water. This is where you look at a company like Harvard Risk Management coming in with ID Shield, where it actually monitors all of your other identity. You have your Social Security. You have your card for your medicine and your medical card. That's a huge card today because they don't have any set limits on those cards. Today, a criminal will pay $50 for your medical ID, but only $25 for Social Security.
Let me tell you a little bit about ID Shield, folks out there. ID Shield, that's the product we're representing, provides the following services for each covered member. And when you find out how inexpensive it is to be a member, either as an individual or as a family of 10, you'll be amazed. You're going to say, I want this now. And we'll refer you to a website where you can enroll. These are some of the following services that you get with this ID Shield. 1, credit analysis, identity consultation services, email notification of credit changes. If something is different, you get an email notification, quarterly credit score trackers. So, if you're noticing that your credit is changing, you're at quarterly, yes, there's something going on, and, you're going to look into it. 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, emergency access. One very important feature is the identity restoration by licensed private investigators. This is what Kroll offers, and we'll tell you more about Kroll, the
That's
company.
The biggest benefit of
That's the benefit
with ID Shield.
And can you imagine having your own investigator, private for yourself? It's awesome because when, the workforce out there, people trying to find out what happened to their credit, what happened to their name, like I said before, it takes away from the quality of life.
Yeah,
and the quality, Nancy, of work. Employees are offering this to their
exactly, Nancy.
To their
this is
employees.
What happens to
they want their employees to have it.
When else can you find out to try to fix your credit, except the fact that when you're going to call to credit, they'll give you a list of people to call your credit card. When can you call these folks?
Oh, yeah.
It has to be at work.
Exactly.
They're not going to be available at 8 o'clock at night or on, so you're going to take your time from your work. You're going to be distracted from your work. You're not going to be as productive in your job, and a lot of times it will impair your work performance.
Yes, and we work our whole lives establishing our identity. That's very important to us. Our identity, who we are, our name, and our credit. To try to be able to do more in our life and have people trust us because we have good credit, get jobs, be able to purchase a home or anything else, and to have so humiliating, degrading, and person feels so violated when when they've been violated, having any of their identity taken from them.
It's a horrible thing.
And actually demeaning. And so there is a solution, and this is why I'm here with this message with you, Harvey.
That's why we're both here.
To tell people that there is a solution for us. And like I said, 10 years ago, I was approached for Identity Shield protection, ID Shield. I didn't pay anything, but the times are changing. This is a sign of the times that we need to have, that this is something, one of the fastest growing crimes in the United States and globally.
It is.
Not only here, but globally.
Yeah, Nancy, why don't you tell them a little bit about Kroll, the company behind Harvard Risk Management, who does do the ID Shield?
I certainly will. But there's one other thing I want to tell everybody. There's $5 million in protection service guarantee, which is awesome.
Yes.
That's
the highest dollar volume of any company out there. And it's not just a $5 million insurance policy. They actually pay the money to licensed and employed private investigators to do it. Remember this. Your identity is your business. Protecting it is ours.
That's right. Okay. ID Shield is offered. Our product is offered by Kroll Fraud Solutions Group. And that is the world's largest leading risk consulting company. It's founded in 1972 by Jules Kroll. And it's headquartered in New York City. And it operates in 65 cities and 33 countries with over 3,800 employees.
In 38
and the
countries.
interesting thing, if you have this protection, if you're traveling in any of those countries, you're protected.
Exactly
It's
true.
all based in the United States, but if you're outside of the United States, you're
They have offices
protected.
there, yes, in 33 countries.
Is that something? That
amazing.
is protection. Traveling, wherever a person's going, to know you're protected.
It's
so
amazing.
Often.
It really is. I had a person call me last week, and they were telling me that they got their identity hit in Mexico. And believe it or not, Kroll's there. They called. And it's an amazing type of results you can get when you have a company like Kroll. As soon as you call in, they tell you, please, we're going to send you a limited power of attorney to fix your credit. They do that. They fix your credit, and guess what happens? From that point on, you don't have to worry. You can call that private investigator anytime to check and see how your identity. They will make sure it's restored to exactly the way it was before this happened.
Yeah. Well, this is like preventive medicine.
It is.
A time to do it, is before something happens. Because when something happens, you can't go back there and say, I want to pay and will you restore my... It's done. So, folks, please pay attention. This is available for you at a reasonable price. So, once again, your identity is your business. Protecting is ours.
Exactly. With that said, I think we should think about going to a commercial break.
I think it is time now. It's time for a commercial. We'll be back.
Legal Shield has provided legal protection to millions of people for over 40 years. We monitor your identity from every angle, not just your social security number, credit cards, and bank accounts. We ensure everything connected to you is safe. ID Shield is the only company with an exclusive partnership with Kroll, the worldwide leader in theft investigative services. If a compromise occurs, contact your licensed private investigator who will immediately begin to restore your identity to exactly the way it was. For more information, call Harvey Katz, a certified risk management consultant. Call 1-888-405-8780 and get started on protection right away. You can visit his website at coveryourassets.tv for more information. Call 1-888-405-8780 and let Harvey help you cover your assets. You are listening to Cover Your Assets with Nancy O. and Harvey Katz. If you want more information, visit coveryourassets.tv and watch all prior shows there. All information on the products will be highlighted on the website. Now, let's get back to the show.
Welcome back, folks. By the way, Harvey, how much does this membership cost? I've been teasing them, telling them that doesn't is so reasonable. Really, how much does it cost? Tell the folks out there they're going to say, incredible.
Well, the great thing is it's only $8.95 for an individual. Mm-hmm. And for a group rate, $9.95 is not group rate, and $19.95 for a family, and that covers the person, their spouse, and up to 8 children. And as a matter of fact, folks, by the way, I do want to let you know, if you have any questions about your credit or stories about what has happened to your identity, please call us.
Okay. Is there anyone, calling in? I would love to know. We'd love to hear from you. Actually, limit your time. We have a call-in, did you say?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Who is our guest tonight?
It's Claudia.
Claudia, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Well, thank you for calling in. We really appreciate that. Hearing from somebody who can share with us makes a big impact. Tell us what the situation was. I'm so sorry something happened, but we'd like to hear about it and how you resolved it. And thank you for calling in.
Well, it involves my mother. She's 97, and she, of course, gets Social Security. And out of the blue, a letter came in the mail wanting to change where her Social Security check was deposited.
Oh,
now,
my gosh.
This was particularly difficult because she's not only 97, she doesn't hear very well. Mm. And everybody I called did not want to deal with me, only with her. So it made it doubly difficult, and we went to the Social Security office numerous times. It was finally resolved, but it was a lot of work on my behalf.
Oh, my goodness. I'm so sorry.
Something like this, I wouldn't have had to do that.
Are you a member yourself now of
Yes,
Identity?
I am.
Well,
Yes,
you have peace of mind. It's like, having...
No, I joined after this episode because I personally saw what could happen.
That's great, Claudia.
Thank you so much.
Have you had any other incidents? And by the way, have you enjoyed the service so far?
Very good so far.
Oh, that's terrific. Thanks so much, Claudia. And
You're welcome.
Keep the referrals coming in.
Exactly.
Bye-bye.
When you have something good, you want to tell it with the people you care about and the people that you don't even know. It's a mission to protect other people. We need this umbrella of protection.
Exactly.
Harvey, I'd like to know and let the folks know out there, are you giving any financial or legal advice to our listeners? I mean, what are you doing?
I do not give any legal or financial advice because I am not a certified legal and I'm not a certified financial planner or an attorney. That you should see an attorney or a financial consultant for. What I'm here for is to protect and cover your assets, and that assets right now is your identity, because your identity is your largest asset.
Well, tell us how a person can protect themselves.
Oh, simply, if you give us a call at 888-405-8780 at any time after the show, or leave a message during the show, I'll be very glad to get back to you on a one-to-one basis. But there are some real simple bases. Says I gave you one little clue this earlier in the show, but to give you an idea, to protect oneself, be sure to shred all of your financial documents and paperwork with your personal information on it. The whole idea is you don't want people to find your identity through the dumpster diving. It's one of the largest ways to get your information. Another one is protect your Social Security number. please, whatever you do not carry your Social Security number with you. Leave it at home, put it away, keep it in a safe place. Even at your home, put it somewhere where it's safe and protected because you don't know who's coming into your house. Once they have your Social Security number, they can make a new you, Nancy. It's unbelievable, but it happens all the time.
But I was always told that my thumbprint was unique.
Your thumbprint
One
might
of
be
a
unique,
kind.
but your Social Security isn't. We had a person last week after the show come to us and told us what happened to her identity.
Oh yeah, that was really she just couldn't stop talking about it. She was so upset.
Yes, and that happened a while ago. She was at a gas station and they stole her purse. Her purse had everything in it. It had her checking account. It had her savings account book. Mm-hmm. It had everything in it. And unbelievably, though, she was hit and she changed. The bank said, "Don't worry, we'll change a new checking account." But guess what happened?
What?
They found her new account and hit that as well.
Well, did she enroll for identity theft protection? Did she enroll for ID
Believe
Shield
it or
when
not,
you're
after
told?
losing $8,000,
after
she still hasn't done it.
Well, you know what? Some people watch and wait and see what happens, and sometimes things happen, and they say, "I wish I could have, should have."
Yes.
It's the old thing in life.
It's exactly right. And the problem is, I tried to explain it to her, and she thought that her credit card and her bank was going to cover her. And guess what? She said she had to change her bank and then change her credit card. And I said, who told you to do that? Well, we got it when the protection came in. We got it in a letter in the mail that we should change our credit cards and change the bank after the second time this happened to her.
Oh, that's so much trouble. I could hardly run my errands, let alone think about that.
Yeah, but that's the whole idea. When you sign that limited power attorney with Kroll behind us, the actual and private investigator will not just take care of your credit card or your bank. They watch and add 24,000 payday loan areas. They look at the black ops behind in the credit card business. They look at yours and watch. A real big one is your passports today.
Oh, goodness.
We hear about the passports all the time.
Of course.
And the whole idea is you want to protect that. Mm-hmm. Leave your passport at home unless you need it. Even leave your Medicare card or your medical ID at home unless you're going to the doctor.
Yes.
When you go to the doctor, cross out one or two numbers, and then if they ask for it, give it to them. And the reason for that is you don't know who's cleaning the doctor's office at night.
Exactly. Yeah.
All this is for your protection, and that I hope I'm trying to give you some good advice today. By the way, don't remember, please call into the show if you have any stories, because we're always looking for somebody like Claudia or other people to come in and tell us their stories so other people can benefit from it. It can happen to her. It can happen to anybody.
Now, if you go to coveryourassets.tv, you could go on there and there's a number to call, or you can schedule. You can call in next time, or you can have a personal call to Harvey, and he can guide you. And you're just welcome to do that. And you could register there.
Yes.
$9.95 for single. That's less than I pay for the tube of lipstick that I buy. That's at least $15 to $20.
And for
lipstick
a whole
is
family.
important. And for a whole family, $19.95, up to 10 people.
Yes, it's not one of these services where they're going to tell you
peace of mind. You can't buy peace of mind.
No, and it saves you actually a lot of money with this family plan, because other services out there, they charge per person.
Yeah.
People ask me all the time, Nancy, how many different plans do we have? We have only two, and they're the best. We have an individual plan and a family plan, and that's it. Everything is covered in our plan.
Uncomplicated.
There are no silver or platinum or base.
Oh, yeah.
There's one plan, and that is to protect a person.
Even I could fill out the application. It was cookie cutter, and that's a good thing. I don't like doing paperwork, but it was easy for me. And you can buy peace of mind with this $9.95 or $19.95 in this case, and protection.
Exactly.
And
the other thing, Nancy, about it is when you're doing and filling out the application, there are some questions that are being asked of you, and any information you get is done over the internet through an encrypted, it's encrypted site for Kroll. I don't know any of that information. Nobody does except the private investigators and Kroll. That's who needs to be aware of what all of your numbers. Nobody else.
Well, Harvey, soon time for us to say ciao. Is there anything else you'd like to...
I think there's another commercial coming up.
Let's do another commercial, okay? Let's go through a commercial now, folks. Hang in there. We're just almost, our show is almost...
Legal Shield has provided legal protection to millions of people for over 40 years. We monitor your identity from every angle, not just your social security number, credit cards, and bank accounts. We ensure everything connected to you is safe. ID Shield is the only company with an exclusive partnership with Kroll, the worldwide leader in theft investigative services. If a compromise occurs, contact your licensed private investigator who will immediately begin to restore your identity to exactly the way it was. For more information, call Harvey Katz, a certified risk management consultant. Call 1-888-405-8780 and get started on protection right away. You can visit his website at coveryourassets.tv for more information. Call 1-888-405-8780 and let Harvey help you cover your assets. You are listening to Cover Your Assets with Nancy O. and Harvey Katz. If you want more information, visit coveryourassets.tv and watch all prior shows there. All information on the products will be highlighted on the website. Now, let's get back to the show.
Folks, it's time for us to say ciao. But do go to the website, coveryourassets.tv, contact Harvey. He'll explain to you what you need to do to get started, and it's easy to enroll. Harvey?
Looking to talk to more of you next week, and be careful and be sure to cover your assets. Thank you.
Thank you, friends.
You have been listening to Cover Your Assets, where your hosts, Nancy O. and Harvey Katz, have shown you how to protect yourself in today's world. If you would like to send questions or comments, visit the chat room at coveryourassets.tv and perhaps have it read on the air. Thanks for listening and watching today, and we will see you next week with more Cover Your Assets.